Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss the ninth chapter of CBSE 8th class history book, that is Women, Caste and Reform. Basically, in this chapter we will discuss the situation of women and society during 18th century, how their situation was going to be changed in later 19th century, and we will discuss this chapter under some subtopics like society during 18th century, after it working towards changes, and later on we will discuss caste and social reforms also. Women, caste and reform, and this chapter will be discussed under some subparts like society during 18th century. After it we will discuss working towards change. Represents the banning of sati system and starting with widow remarriage. After it, working towards the changes will be discussed under some subtopics also like changing the lives of widows, second is girls begin going to school, after it we will discuss the topic women write about women. Later on we will discuss caste and social reforms. And this will also be discussed under some subtopics like demands for equality and justice. After it we will discuss Ghulamgiri, or we can say slavery system. Later on we will see who could enter temples, or we can say we will see the system of untouchability. After it, the known Brahman movement. In this video we will discuss only the first part of this chapter, that is society during 18th century. Have you ever thought of how children lived about 200 years ago? Nowadays, most girls from middle class families go to school and open study with boys. On growing up, many of them go to colleges and universities and take up jobs after that. They have to be adult before they are legally married, and according to law, they can marry anyone they like. There is no foundation of caste and community for them. Although the situation of women is not completely changed, for example, many a times we can hear like a young bride is subjected to torture and humiliation at her husband's home for failing to bring enough dowry from her parents' house during marriage. Unable to bear this tyrannical situation, she has committed suicide. In an age where women such as Sunita Williams are even traveling to space, we can see the bad condition of women in some sections of society. But 200 years ago, the situation of women was worse and more deplorable than present scenario. So at first we will discuss the situation of women 200 years ago. Later on we will discuss the changes in society. 200 years ago the society was full of evils. Things were very different and typical. The following social evils were being faced at that time like polygamy, child marriage, sati system, female infanticide, and restriction on widow remarriage, caste system, and untouchability also. So at first we will discuss the social evils which were prevalent during 18th century. The first is polygamy. Polygamy means more than one marriages. In 18th century, both Hindu and Muslim man could marry more than one wife. It made the life of women miserable, and the rate of divorce was also very high among them. So it was also a social evil that was prevalent in 18th century, more than one marriage. Second is sati system. The literally meaning of sati system is virtuous woman. In some parts of country, widows were praised if they choose death by burning themselves on funeral pyre of their husbands. Women who died in this manner, whether willingly or otherwise, called sati. Raja Ram Mohan Roy described sati as murder according to every shastra. We can say it was the most inhuman customs a woman was supposed to follow. And with the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, sati system was banned in 1829, meaning virtuous women were forced to follow it, and it was declared as a murder according to every shastra by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Here is a picture presenting sati system. This is a picture that is presenting sati system during 18th century. Actually, this was a painting which was made by Balthazar Solvin in 1813, and this was one of many pictures of sati painted by the European artists who came to India, and the practice of sati was seen as evidence of the barbarism of the East. In this particular picture, the woman was being forced to accept death with her husband, and this is made by Balthazar Solvin in 1813. The third social level was female infanticide. The birth of a daughter was considered a curse at that time. The newborn girl child was killed and buried. This human practice of female infanticide was widely prevalent in the society. It was done so that in future they had not to face economic burden, because it was considered if a daughter, or we can say girl, was alive, in future dowry would be presented at the time of her marriage. That's why the birth of a girl child was considered a curse, murder of girl child. The fourth evil that was prevalent, child marriages. In earlier times, the children were married off at an early age. They were married when they didn't know the meaning of this. Because of child marriage, the condition of girl was worse than boys. Why? How can we say it like the condition of girls was worse in comparison to boys? Like, girls were married when they were physically or mentally unprepared for marriage, and by the time they gained maturity, they would become a widow, because generally they were married off at a very tender age to the grooms much older to them. That's why they had to face worse situation than boys. And child marriage was restricted in 1929 when Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed. It is also known as Shada Act. Girls' situation was worse because of this. Because they were married off at a very tender age, Two grooms much older to them. Two grooms much older to them. The fifth is restrictions on widow remarriage. As I have told you in earlier point that the girls were married of two men much older than to themselves, they became widow at an early age, and widowhood was considered inauspicious, and a widow was forced to lead a secluded and almost exiled life. Deprived of all pleasures of life, their lives were bound by numerous rituals. They were not allowed to remarry, they were not allowed to participate in family functions and festivals. Generally, widows were excluded by the society, not only by the society but their families also. And in 1856, Widow Remarriage Act was passed, according to which now widows were allowed to remarry. 1856 Widow Remarriage Act was passed, and the main contribution of passing this act was done by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. After it, right to property. In a Hindu society, the women didn't have the right to inherit property. Women didn't have the right to property. They were not allowed to share the property of their parents. And the next one is no access education for women. No access to education for women. Education was not the privileges of girls, as they were neither required to seek employment nor study the holy books. In fact, in many parts of country, people believed that if a woman was educated, she would become a widow. That's why right to education was not given to women at that time, and they were not allowed to go to schools for study. In most of the section of society, people believed that if they were educated, they would become widow. So they were not allowed to study, and after it we will see the next event, that is dowry system. Although dowry system is prevalent in present scenario also, but at that time it led the activity of female infanticide. The dowry system whereby the girl was expected to bring huge amount of gifts, cash or various other kinds from her parents' place during marriage was followed strictly. Many girls from poor families remained unmarried or committed suicide to lessen the burden of their parents. Dowry system, it means to bring money or various other goods at the time of marriage. It led suicide cases. After it, we will see the other evils. These were not related to women, but these were related to caste, and those were discrimination on the basis of caste. In most regions, people were divided along lines of caste, and on the basis of Varna system, the society was divided into different categories. And we could find discrimination on the basis of caste during 18th century. Like the society was divided in 4 parts and untouchables were not allowed to enter in temples. Like we can see the division of society with the help of this diagram. Division of society. The topmost place was reserved for Brahmins. After it, Kshatriyas. After it, Vaishyas. And the last part was reserved for Shudras. These 2 parts were considered upper caste. In Vaishyas, we can include traders and moneylenders. And Vaishyas were placed after upper caste. Shudras were also divided into 2 categories. In first category, we can include weavers and potters, and these were considered higher than untouchables. Whereas in the lowest category, we can keep untouchables who were indulged in the work of keeping cities clean. They can also be divided into 2 parts. The first part was reserved for weavers and potters. Whereas in the lowest category, untouchables were placed. Untouchables were indulged in jobs that upper caste considered polluting. These people were not allowed to enter temples, draw water from the wells used by the upper caste, or bath in the ponds where upper caste bathed. They were seen as inferior human beings. And the last social evil, which could be seen in the form of festival, that is hook swing festival. Hook swinging festival. This picture represents the hook swing festival during 18th century. It was a festival which was based on our orthodox ideology, and in this popular festival, devotees underwent a peculiar form of suffering as part of ritual worship. With hooks pierced through their skin, they swung themselves on a wheel. In the early 19th century, when European officials began criticizing Indian customs and rituals as barbaric, this was one of the rituals that came under attack. So we can say that at that time Indian society was full of social evils, and these social evils were necessary to be removed. That's why many leaders like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Keshav Chandra Sen, Pandita Ramabai and various other leaders took steps to remove all these social evils. Okay, we have seen that the society was full of evils in 18th century, and from the early 19th century we can find many debates and discussions about social customs and practices taking on a new character. And in our next videos we will discuss about our remaining topics that were working towards change and caste and social reforms.